Hello, welcome to the Human Factors Book Club. I'm afraid this one's taken a little while to make because we've had a flood, so you can see that I'm living in chaos. But that's fine, I can still tell you about this book. And this book, it's taken me a while to write this because it's been really impactful on my thinking and my behaviours. I've really enjoyed it. So I really wanted to do it justice and do a good book review. So effectively, it is a new take on kind of neo-Stoicism, kind of a 2025 take on it. But what I found about this book it was really authentic. It had personal narrative, case examples that really worked. It had both a authentic feel to it, but I found it also very practical and instructive. But the way it's written wasn't patronising. The only thing about it was I didn't quite understand all the times the ways in which things were grouped together. So the author Anne-Laurie Lecomte talks about pact, act, react and impact. And I'll go through those sections, but the title heads to me didn't make loads of sense, but the content really did. So the whole thing about this book is to get rid of your kind of linear goals, just to really encourage curiosity. And it starts talking about our defense mechanisms for uncertainty, which really struck a chord with me. So you either become cynical, you become escapist, or you become perfectionist. And I see this a lot. And when you can't remove the stressor, you tend to fall back into one of these types. And so recognizing what you're doing is really important. It also talks a lot about moving from chronological goals to loop-based growth. So work out what your cognitive scripts are, what's worked in the past is something that you'll often keep on doing, and then look at the ways that you do things and then challenge them. And effectively, this is a form of metacognition. It's in a way to really understand what you do and to do tiny experiments with what works and what might work in the future. So as an example, they talk about field notes on your life. Sorry, I do actually have some notes for this book because it was so comprehensive. I wanted to make sure that you got it all. So what you do is write field notes on your life. So insights, energy, mood, and your encounters. And I really did do this and found this really useful. So the first thing it talks about is pact. So rather than setting yourself a linear goal, you say, I will do X for X, a tiny experiment in your life. And actually sort of get rid of that idea of a SMART objective, but swapped to PACT, which he said was purposeful, actionable, continuous, and trackable. I don't think the acronym was particularly necessary, but the stuff within it made a lot of sense. She then talks about how you act, and this is very interesting. So it's about kind of mindful productivity. So manage your physical, cognitive, and emotional resources. Understand your chronotype. I am a lark. I often get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and work, but I crash. I go to bed really early and I feel really productive and good in the mornings, and the afternoons is not my great time for thinking. That you have magic windows, and when you have a magic window, absolutely kick it. The other thing is that no one can multitask. Always switch between different tasks. And I really like this idea, heed your body. Really listen into your mental fog. If it's then you take a break. So when you're doing tasks, think, given my current attention and working memory, what will I do right now? And really try to align your energy, focus, emotions, and consciousness. And I thought a really nice bit of it was about procrastination. If you're procrastinating, there's probably a reason for it. Your heart's not in it, your head's not in it, or actually it's not doable. So then she talks about how you react and looking at your reactions. And I think it's something that we often talk about in surgery, that perfect is the enemy of good. And identify perfectionist patterns and challenge them. I really like the bit she did. She talks about plus, minus, and next. And I found that really useful to kind of look at my reactions, what's working, what isn't working, and what should I do in the future. So then we come to decisions, how you make decisions. And I like this as well. She talked about, do you persist, do you pause, or do you pivot? And then looking at external facts, contexts, practicalities, emotions, motivations, and beliefs, which of those is the best next choice to make? And I really like that. And if things feel disruptive, listen to it. I really like that. And I also like she talks about erring on the side of acceptance rather than trying to control everything. So then coming to the final kind of idea of impact, and she talks a lot about using the social community, so unlock social flow and lean into radical transparency. So when you're learning to do something, do it publicly. And maybe me running a book club on human factors might be able to be seen, in the middle of a flood damage? Yeah, radical transparency. And move from trying to make a legacy for yourself to making things better for other people in the present. And I really like the kind of conclusions. Some of it I took on board a lot. I really like just do the work, do the work ahead of the recognition of it. Grow lateral roots and prioritize impact over image. Finish what you start. And finally, the thing that I really enjoyed was play. So tiny experiments, I would highly recommend it, and also getting linked into the community that's associated with it. I've been running some tiny experiments in my own life and feel so much the better for it. I would highly recommend this book to anybody looking to improve productivity, but actually also relationships, happiness, and really tuning in to your metacognition and your energies has been really fantastic. Thank you.